What is shaking? Happy Friday to you. Out in the backyard. It's a beautiful day. It felt like kind of fall holiday-ish weather for the first time today out for a walk. It was a little crisp. I don't know, something about it just felt like, you know what, the holiday season's here. It's coming. Thanksgiving just around the corner, and then Christmas will be following shortly thereafter. And we're going to try to see if we can get some winners heading into that holiday season with my good friend Dennis Ranahan of Quackside Sports, PicksFootball.com. We'll go over as many games as we can. Then I'm going to get into Thanksgiving. Like, what are the must-haves for Thanksgiving? Dennis, what's going on?
Well, as we were talking off the air there, I'm doing plumbing right now, Tom, and that is absolutely a Chevy Chase comedy.
That's a bad start to the day.
You start these little projects that are simple and wouldn't cost much if I just brought a plumber in, and then I'd create problems and have to bring in the reinforcements to fix what I messed up.
Yeah, I couldn't even. I wouldn't even try plumbing. I just wouldn't even. I don't even know. I don't know how far I would go to do like a home fixer up, or like electricity's out. Don't want to kill myself. Plumbing's out because I know I won't get it right. I don't know what I could do, like what I would trust myself doing. Painting, I guess. Anybody can do that, though. I get a monkey out here to do painting.
Oh, don't tell the painters that. My dad taught me about painting. He was a great painter. He was like me in most other things. His middle name was Jimmy Rig. He'd always figure out ways to wire this and tape that, and things like that. But he was a great painter, and he taught me. He said 90% of the job needs to be done before you open the paint.
There you go.
That is the key to painting. It's all in the prep. It's all in the prep. Kind of like a football game. Kind of like a football game. If you know how a team prepared for the game, you pretty well know how they're going to play on Sunday.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt about that. I always said that about goaltending. 90% of the shots are stopped before the shot's taken. Because you see like goalies that are in perfect position, and it doesn't look like much of a save, but that's because he's in the right position. Like, I don't need a goalie standing on his head 15 times a game, because if he is, there's going to be games where he's not. He's going to give up 4 or 5 goals. So, no, prep wasn't my strong suit. So probably not why. Probably not why I'm not a good fit for the painting community.
Kevin Johnson. That was your mainstream.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. That was pretty much it. All right, let me ask you this before we get to the games. So you said you're going to have some people over for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
What? Give me 2 must-haves for Thanksgiving dinner.
Pumpkin pie.
Okay.
Pumpkin pie after, of course, turkey, but that goes without saying. The right stuffing, and stuffing it can be a problem. But and you got to have cranberries. You got to have cranberries with it.
I'm going to fight you on that. Cranberries are awful. They're just awful.
It's awful. Kevin doesn't go for that gel kind. It's the cranberries that are loose. You don't like cranberries?
Cranberry, they're awful. Oh. Wait, let me ask you this question. I ask anybody that ever brings cranberries up, when is another time during the year you serve cranberries for dinner? Never. If they were that good, you would serve them more often. You never serve cranberries. And so don't give me this, hey, I got cranberries stuffed in a closet somewhere. Let's get rid of them come Thanksgiving time.
Floor me with this simpleton thinking, this absolute that cuts right to the core. I just am humbled in your presence.
Oh God!
Humbled in your presence.
Stuffing, you're right though. Stuffing's almost a number 1 for me.
Stuffing has to be right though. I mean,
you're right.
It's crummy. I don't like that. When it's loose, and I mean, it's not. Yeah. It's gotta have a little texture to it.
Yes. Yeah.
A little, it matters. And sometimes people that think they make great stuffing, I don't like it because it's too fancy. Just give me.
Yeah. Stuffing. Yeah. My mom does like. It's funny because I asked my mom, I go, what do you use? You like stovetop? She goes, no, I don't use stovetop.
Yes.
Mrs. Covington's, I guess is what it's called. But then she puts the onions and celery, chops it up, cooks it up, puts it in the stuffing, and then she makes Jimmy. She doesn't make it. She buys Jimmy Dean sage pork sausage, and then she cooks that up and puts that in the stuff.
Now you're talking to stuff.
Like I'm like, nah. Now we're talking. Now, do you have to have? This is key for me. Do you have to have gravy?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Over everything.
Gravy.
Over everything.
Gotta have gravy. Yeah.
Over everything. You put the gravy right on the cranberries right there. Yeah. Right on it. You do. So does Lori create? Does she cook a stuffing that matches your mom's?
Yeah. No, Lori's a good cook, and my mom does serve cranberry though, and I'm just like, I gave her the same thing. I gave her the same spiel. I go, yeah, serve this April 4th. I dare you. You will not serve this April 4th. Not going to happen. But it's funny because my mom does turkey and ham. And I'm like, I don't do ham. I don't know why. Ham's Easter. And then ham you can do for Christmas. Although I did a couple years ago, I did a beef Wellington for Christmas. So I think Christmas is kind of up for grabs. You can do turkey, ham. You can do whatever you want for a Christmas dinner. But the ham, just give me a turkey. I mean, traditional stuffing, usually 2 kinds of potatoes. Give me the mashed, give me the sweet potatoes. And then there's, whatever else you want to do. You want to throw in there. You like the cranberries a lot. I mean, a lot of people love cranberries. I get it. That's traditional
potatoes. Too. Tom, there's another thing that can really go off rails if you don't know what you're doing with the sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
My mother used to make sweet potatoes that were unbelievable, and Pam's weren't. And Pam's a great cook, but it's amazing we've been married as long as we are, because I said, your sweet potatoes are not as good as my mother's. And so she said, well, then have your mother give me the goddamn recipe. So she did. And so she made them my mother's way. And now at Thanksgiving, she says, and rosemary sweet potatoes.
Yeah. What was she missing?
I have no idea, but it didn't work. It wasn't right. It didn't work. It was like, these aren't good, Pam. This ain't it.
Hey, I got to give you credit for throwing that out there. Yeah, I think I would just choke it down and come back for if it's once a year, I could choke something down. I mean, right? Because I always weigh the, like, is it worth it? Do I want to put it? Nah, I really don't. It's like 3 bites, and then look, you can always put. There's so much on your plate for Thanksgiving. It's very easy to get up from the table and just wipe it off and put it down the garbage disposal, because it all goes together. So if you want to, you could eat 2 bites of something, mix it up with the other stuff, and then just put it down the garbage disposal. You're good. I became pretty creative at throwing away, getting rid of, disposing of food that I didn't like when I was younger. I used to spit beans in my milk and then dump the milk down the sink so my mom wouldn't find out. Yeah, because I was like, I don't want that. I'm not eating these beans. I hated lima beans. I'd line the lima beans.
They have lima beans. No one likes lima beans.
No one. They get the texture is just gross. But I would line the lima beans up on the ledge underneath my where the table, and I'd come back later and get them. It became interesting if I forgot them and they're there for 2-3 days. Then the jig was up after that. All right, let's get to some games this week and see if we can find some winners. It's funny because the longer the season goes on for me, it's harder to sift through these games because the lines start tightening up a little bit. You get trial and error, and the books do a better job of setting lines later in the season. So it's harder for me to kind of look for stuff where, the motivational edge is with one team and not with another team. There were some interesting games this week, Dennis. There was Tampa and the Rams that I looked at. There was we'll get to the Niner game for sure. They're laying a big number against the Panthers this week. The Steelers being an underdog. Here's one that kind of caught my eye. and I don't know if everybody will be on this underdog. Dallas jumped out at me. Dallas at home jumped out at me this week, especially with the way Philly's been playing offensively. Not great, having a hard time really extending from teams. Their defense is really good. But boy, that passing game with Ferguson and Pickens and Lamb and then Dak has been really, really good at home. And they've been good at home against division foes in recent history. So it's down to 3. I certainly would have loved it at 3.5 or 4, obviously. But that one kind of jumped out at me. Like that might be a good spot for the Cowboys in this game. How do you see that one?
I think this is the top pick of the week here. And we've got this situation. I wrote this in today's column, but I notice that when I do best, it's when I remember history. And I remember, oh yeah, they're in that spot. They're in, because I've been doing this 50 years. Everything has happened before.
Yeah.
I love it when people say, boy, this season, this is weird. How do you pick? It's always the same. It's always weird. It's like the weather when people say, weather's strange this year. If you say that every year, it's just weather, and the same thing with the NFL. If every year you say, oh man, who would have thought, it's just another football season. But here's the deal. When I was with the Raiders the very first year in 1973, we opened the season against the Minnesota Vikings, who were a top team at the time, and lost on the road. And then we played the Miami Dolphins, who hadn't lost a game since 1971 because they had the perfect season in 72, opened against the Niners with a win. And we beat them 12-7, which was monumental. We ended the Dolphins' streak. And so the next Thursday, I'm sitting in the office and about to go over to the Raiders office to pick up the afternoon mail, and Tom Flores and Paul Roach, two wonderful men, were in the locker room right in front of where my workstation was. And Paul Roach said this. He said, to both Tom and I, he said, if I would have known we'd be 2-1 after 3 games, given our schedule, I'd be satisfied with that. And I went, oh, that's the kiss of death. Because we were going to Kansas City, and he thought the win over the Dolphins secured a 2-1 first 3 weeks. And I went, that is motivation 101. He thinks after beating the Dolphins, we'll kill, the Chiefs when they're down.
Yeah.
Here. And that was the afternoon I saw Mr. Davis in the hallway within an hour after that happening. And he said, how we doing, young man? I said, great. How's the team? We're in big trouble, sir. What? And I explained to him, I said, hey, we're out there still talking about Zonka kicking Warfield. The Chiefs are preparing for us. In any case, I tell you that story because it's a mirror, I think, of what the Philadelphia Eagles are going through right now. They beat the New York Giants in the revenge game because they'd lost to the Giants earlier in the year, headed into their bye. And their next 3 games coming out of their bye was at Green Bay, Detroit at home, and then at Dallas. And I guarantee you, just knowing the human condition, that those guys were looking at that schedule going, boy, that's a tough set of games, particularly at Green Bay and against Detroit. And they beat Green Bay, to my surprise. They beat Detroit last week, and now they think they got the easy one on the road of those 3 games. When they were looking at it, thinking this is how we're going to come out of our season. Now they go into Dallas. And to my surprise, I had the Raiders on Monday night. I thought the Raiders, who were competitive against the Broncos and competitive against the Jaguars, I thought they would hang with it wasn't even a game. Even though they got the early break and on the fumble, the Dallas Cowboys dominated that game on both sides of the ball. And I looked and said, this Dallas defense is not the same defense it was 4 weeks ago. They made some trades at the trade deadline. They got better. They have a couple kids come back, and the offense we know has been explosive all year long. This is a Dallas win. This is a Dallas win as sure as you and I are sitting here. They are going to beat Philadelphia. And Philadelphia, who, looked at that schedule and figure, we're 3-0 now. No, they're 2-1.
Now, would you? Because I like this game too. It was at 4, might even touched 4.5 earlier in the week. It's at 3 now, like a juice 3. I'm gonna wait just to see if a 3.5 pops up there because I can't imagine it's gonna go to 2.5. If it goes to 2.5, people are gonna buy Philadelphia, and that's gonna go right back to 3. So I think the worst you'll get is 3 here. I'm gonna just wait it out and see what happens, and see if another 3.5 jumps out. What do you? What I mean? What
We
do you
got two
think?
things going for us. I'm always a whore for points. I
Yes.
never buy points because I
Yeah.
know that's a book.
Nor should
Yeah.
you.
But I'm always looking for a better line. So I'll bet on lines earlier and later. I didn't bet on this one earlier because I was surprised the line was moving at all. So
Yeah.
4, okay, 4. Yeah, that's a low line for this game, right? 3.5. Well, it won't go 3. Well, okay, now I'm sitting there going, okay, now I'll wait because, like you, I don't think it's going to go below 3, and it might go to 3.5. But here's the key: everybody's betting on the Eagles,
Yeah.
and the line is going that way. So shrug your shoulders and go, give me this line, give me that line. We're going to win the game.
All right, another one that I kind of like, and I'm glad you like that one because that's the one that it jumped out to me more than others. The Saints over the Falcons. I don't love laying points with the Saints, but the Falcons are just a mess with or without Penix. I mean, Cousins. What happened to Cousins over the last couple of years? And my goodness, he's awful. Drake London's not going to play. I know it'll be the Bijan show, but I mean, I think the Saints are equipped to do a reasonable job on him. I don't know what their passing game is going to be like. I just don't know. I mean, I feel better, and we've had the Falcons a couple of times this year, and we've won with them a couple of times this year. There's just something about the Falcons. I don't know what it is, and it's like different coaches, different quarterbacks. It's just the Falcons. I kind of want to take the Saints here. I don't feel super strongly about it, but I feel strongly that I'll probably have the Saints in some fashion. How do you feel about this one?
I'm always amazed sometimes when a coach gets fired because I'm looking at situations thinking there was no way they could have won in that spot. And then the ownership gets upset and fires them, and I think it's usually for the wrong reasons. I remember our top pick of the year when we used to distinguish games that way.
Yeah.
A number of years ago was a playoff game between Jacksonville and Miami. And Miami had beaten Seattle the week before, in a wild card game, and then went into Jacksonville, and we went Jacksonville -8, take it. They won 62-7 in that game to Jacksonville. And after the game, Marino retired, and Jimmy Johnson quit as the head coach of the Dolphins. And I shook my head saying, no, you were dead. You had no chance in that game. You were coming off a road opening playoff game in Seattle that you just slipped by. You were going to Jacksonville, waiting for you. Don't overreact to that. Don't get fired. Don't quit. Don't say, "Oh, we're embarrassed." There was no other. 62-7 was a little more than we would have thought. But the fact that they lost big, and now in Atlanta, I see a team that's had so many opportunities to do well. They covered against the Patriots for us that week.
Yep.
But they should have won the game. And they had a situation last week where, Kirk Cousins, I wouldn't have bet on Kirk Cousins. We're up 21-7. It looked like we're on our way to a roll. I was on Atlanta in that game. And the situation is they lose that too. They couldn't stop Carolina on a 4th down. They couldn't hold them out of the end zone when they were in the red zone. And so this is a coach that should get fired. When you say, I don't understand what's going on with Atlanta, you got to blame the coach for this one because there's plenty of talent on both sides of the ball in Atlanta. I feel like about the Falcons right now, like a few years ago, I felt about the the Los Angeles Chargers, in that they were so miscoached given their talent. And then they bring in Harbaugh and he takes them right to the playoffs and probably back in the playoffs this year. Same thing in Atlanta. Get me a coach in there. I'm sorry, Mr. Morris, but this party's over. You are the reason. Now, are they going to beat New Orleans this week? Yeah, this is where a bad team will come up maybe with a big effort and Kirk Cousins finds a rhythm. I would be on the Saints side, but
Okay.
I'm not going to chase a line with the Saints. I'm not going to lay 1.5, 2. Now it's up to 2.5, I think, in some spots. That's too many people lining up on the Saints for me to get excited about that line. But
got it.
Won't be on the Falcons.
All right, let's go to the big game of the weekend: the Colts and the Chiefs. It's funny, Dennis. You look at some of the underlying numbers this year. The Chiefs' offense is better than what it was last year. Some of the Chiefs' numbers are better than what they were last year. They just won all the close games last year. They can't win a close game this year. It's funny how the margin for error is so slim. People don't know how slim it is in professional sports. Like, it's really razor thin. We both had them last week. I thought they were in a great spot last week, and I'm still the Broncos. To me, I can't quite figure them out. It's like Bo Nix. He's not great, but he's good when he has to be. But I always think if you're good when you don't have to be, you don't have to be really good when you don't have to be. Whatever that means, you figure it out. If you know what it means, you know what it means. The defense is really good, no doubt about it. But I feel like this is another game. This is do or die for the Chiefs. But 3.5 is tempting for the Colts. I might just watch this one. This is a really fun game to watch. I would like to take the Chiefs, thinking, well, if they lose this one, geez, party might be over for them at that point. And I don't think the party's over. Like I said this, Dennis, on the show a couple days ago. I said the Chiefs still, to this day, no matter who they play, where they play, I have a hard time seeing them as underdogs to somebody even in the playoffs. Like, I think that highly of them. And the top of the AFC is not quite as good as it was. The Patriots are really good, of course. The Broncos are good. But I don't look at those two teams and go, oh, boy, that's a really, really, really tough teams to beat in the playoffs. But for some reason, the magic isn't there that was there last year in winning those close games. How do you see this one? Because Chiefs initially for me was like, oh, yeah, the Chiefs aren't going to lose this. But I thought that last week. I thought the Chiefs were going to lose that one last week. And sure enough, they lost outright. So I don't know. I don't think I'll take them, but what do you think?
Well, it's interesting. Last week, by the way, I really think they lost that game on a missed extra point because they scored the touchdown, and had they made the extra point, they would have gone up by 4, and it was late enough in the game. I was laying 3.5. I kind of liked where that was. It was late enough in that game that Denver would have been required to go for a touchdown.
Yep.
There was no more time for kicking field goals, but because it was only 3, they kicked the field goal to tie the game. When I think we would have won by 4, talking about Kansas City last week, had they just made that stupid extra point. Now, yeah, you get on one side and say Kansas City can't lose another one, right? They're 5-5. They're not going to get eliminated. Well, maybe this is the year they do.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the year that they're just not. The ship left the pier. I mean, they're not dominant. They weren't dominant last year, and it didn't catch up with them until the Super Bowl. And so now we get to a situation where they're not only not dominant, they're not getting the breaks. It's going against them. The Colts are playing real well. Critics of the Colts will point out who they've beaten as opposed to their record. They'll say, well, you beat Tennessee, you beat these guys, you beat that guy. Yeah, they beat those guys, and they beat other teams too, by the way, and so I'm going to like the Colts. I'm not going to bet it. I'm not going to, wade into, let's see if we can, I feel like I'm going to get bit if I try to bet against the Chiefs here in this spot, but I like the Colts. I think the Colts are going to go in here. When they lost to the Steelers a few weeks ago, I think they were -5 on the turnover ratio.
Maybe even 6.
7. And lost by 7 points. I think I'm going to enjoy watching this game. As I don't think I'll have a vested interest in it, but I'm going to lean to the Colts here and say it's the Colts year, and it's not the Chiefs year.
No, I think I agree with you. The Colts went to the Chargers, beat them up pretty good. They went to the Rams, same building, should have won that game. They were like the better team in that game.
Yeah, they did. They dropped the ball going in the end zone.
A.D. Mitchell dropped the ball going in the end zone. That was obviously a huge play. So, all right, before we let's pick a game that intrigues you, let's get to the Niner game. This one almost seems like, and we lost this one last week. We went with the Chiefs, and we're like, well, why is that team laying 4 on the road against teams in first place? I look at this almost similarly. Like, why the Niners laying 6.5, and then it went to 7? Their defense is awful. I mean, they pop up every now and again and have a really good effort, but Carolina's played actually pretty decently on the road recently. I mean, they beat the Falcons, so I mean, it's the Falcons, but they did beat the Packers. The offense wasn't great. They held the Packers to a couple field goals when they scored touchdowns. That's how they got up early in that game, but they won that game. Bryce Young's playing a little bit better. I'm like, what am I missing? What am I missing here? Like, why the Niners a touchdown favorite in this game? They looked good last week. Brock Purdy looked good last week. Although, as I said earlier this week, that was more the Cardinals just being pathetic. The Cardinals were just awful in that game. And the Niners were good enough to take advantage. And they played well. I'm not going to say they didn't. They did. But not to the score. You look at the score, you think they would have completely, utterly dominated that game. They didn't. It just, the Cardinals were just kind of like the Cardinals of old, just, well, pathetic. So how do you see this one? Because this one, to me, I thought would be 4.5, 6 maybe. But the fact that it opened at 6.5 and went right to 7, I was like, that's kind of interesting, because my mind would have said go against the team that defensively is very, 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 very challenged. I can see a lot of points being scored in this game, by the way, for what it's worth. But how do you see this one?
Well, sometimes you look at a team and they're like a rubber band. You keep stretching, you see how far it go, and at some point it's going to snap back. It's going to get you as you pull it. I'm wondering if what people are seeing, the books, who I take my first clue from, are seeing is that this Panthers band is about to snap, because they beat Green Bay, which you would think they'd have a letdown after that, but Atlanta gave them last week. So they got an extra win. They were down 21-7. Had they not knocked, a Penix out of the game, they were on their way to a double-digit loss, and so they win that game, and now they go back on the road to play a Niner team that I just love this Niners team for what they've done. I mean, I keep looking at it going, man, they've lost their best 2 defensive players. Purdy missed, 7 weeks, and here they are challenging Seattle and the Rams in maybe the toughest division in football. And what is it? Well, part of it, I think, when we talk about the defense, is Robert Saleh. I think he knows how to prepare that defense, and I think the players respond to him. So I think the fact that they're favored by this many points is a giveaway, that they're going to win by that many points and more. I'd be willing to lay these points on Monday night and expect the Niners to drill them.
Got it. All right, give me one game that you are eyeing going into the weekend.
Yeah, can we talk about Dallas again?
Yeah.
Yeah, here,
I like it when the first game I come up with that jumped out of me also jumped out of you.
Oh, yeah.
That's a game you really like. That always makes me feel good taking. And again, if you're going to take that game, if you're out there, wait. It's not. I think chances of going under 3 are minimal. So you're going to get 3 more than likely. You might end up getting a 3.5 because people still like betting the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles, because they win. They continue to win. So I think it's interesting that I think public sentiment will be on the Eagles. Maybe not, but the line has gone toward Dallas. So I will be on Dallas. It's just a matter of what I get them at. So, all right, we've taken that off the table. We've said okay. I like that. You like that. That's one game we both really like. Is there another one that I kind of missed that you kind of like want to wait and see how the numbers shake out?
Here's a situation that I was doing my numbers on Monday, and I went, "Oh, we got him! We got him! This is it! This is so cool! They're dead! They're dead!" And I looked at it, I went, "The Denver Broncos are in a situation where this is a team that lost against the spread to the Tennessee Titans, the New York Giants, and the New York Jets, and now they're going to come off that win against Kansas City." They're so dead. I don't care if they play Tom and I. They are so dead. And then I look at, son of a bitches are on a bye. And I'm thinking of all the benefits, of all the breaks a team can get. It could be set up for a loss. So now I'm sitting there going, all right, they got 2 weeks to sit on that Kansas City loss. Who do they play next week? It's against Denver. They're due to lose, but I don't get them this week. So, doggone it. I'm sorry we don't. But good things come to those who win.
We're foreshadowing. We're foreshadowing is what we're doing. That's for the following. Who's Denver play after their bye?
Who do they play after their bye? I gotta look. I don't even care. They're gonna lose.
Let's look. Let's look real quick and see Denver.
They play the Washington Commanders.
See that on the road Sunday night football. Sunday night football.
That's the kind of sneaky game. Washington's been horrible all year. That they come up with a surprise effort. Washington, doesn't that sound like the New York Giants, the New York Jets, the Tennessee Titans?
Yeah, and you get a standalone game. You get Sunday night football.
Baby.
So even there you go. There you go. Okay, let me ask you about this one. Okay, unless you get, do you have one in particular you want to talk about? Because if not, I could throw one out there that I find interesting from a game standpoint. Maybe not a wagering standpoint, but a game standpoint.
Can we talk about Dallas?
Okay, everybody, we like Dallas.
What's your game? Dallas. What's your game?
Tampa and the Rams.
Yeah, what a good game.
It's a really good game. Look, ever since Bucky Irving's gone down, it's been a struggle he's like a big part of that offense. Baker hasn't been quite as good. Like Godwin's been out, Evans has been out. I know Ibuka is questionable this week with an illness, but it sounds like he's going to play. The problem is their defense hasn't been very good the last month or so. The Rams, though, get that big win over Seattle. Like that really kind of loosened the collar. Like they got some breathing room in the West now. But I'll be honest, I think Seattle might be the better team. They turned it over 4 times. And if you're counting on 4 turnovers to win a football game, good luck, because that might not happen again. I was more I wanted to take Seattle this week, but I don't want to lay 13 on the road. But I did. I was like, God, Seattle looked better coming out of that game, even though they lost that game. And I don't know how that'll hit the Rams, because I always find it very dangerous to go against teams. And this is an NBA playoff thing. Like you look at teams who don't play great, but win. Those are usually teams to really back the next game, because they are like worried, like, hey, if we play like that again, we're not going to win. So they have the motivation and they got the win behind them, which helps. So the Rams scare me a little bit in that they won the game, but they probably didn't even feel like they won the game after the game. It's like, God, we kind of got away with one there. And if we play like that again, we're not going to beat this team. I love teams that I think are motivated off a mental loss. Even though it's a win, they feel like, God, we didn't play very good. We got to do some stuff, change some stuff up. 7's big for me. If it gets to 7, at 6.5, 7, that's a lot. I probably, though, would go with the Rams here. The Rams have seemed to me the right side, because I think a lot of people are saying what I'm saying, Dennis. They might not have been the best team last weekend, and I think they might know that, and that might fuel them to beat the Bucks this week and beat them soundly.
Well, here's one thing as we go back a little bit into last week, the Seattle Seahawks loss, that they gave up 4 interceptions, did Darnold. And I'm thinking, there it is. That's why Minnesota doesn't have him. He looked the same way against the Rams last week as he looked against Detroit on the final day of the season and Los Angeles in the playoffs. And maybe that's going to be his new pattern is he's going to do fine for a while, but when push comes to shove and it's a game for first place, he did not play well, you know, and he threw, you know, there's always an interception when you throw 4. One of them you can say, well, that went off the receiver's hand or the receiver ran the wrong pattern. It wasn't the quarterback's fault. But you throw 4, and that last one was horrible.
That was bad.
You were rooting, you know, for Seattle there. That last one was just right to the Rams. So in that situation, but like you say, you have a +4 turnover and you win the game by 2 points. Yeah. That's a little spooky for the Rams side. I still don't know that the Rams aren't the best team in football.
I agree.
With what they can do offensively, what they can do defensively, their coaching, the experience of the quarterback, you know, I don't see any weakness in this Rams situation. And so the Buccaneers coming in, they were 6.5-point underdogs in Buffalo last week and lost the game and spread. I don't think Tampa Bay beats the Rams here. I don't think I'll be laying the 7 points in this spot, but I might be. And I'm unless something breaks, and we'll see tonight and tomorrow when we get the casino numbers. I would be leaning the Rams' way in this contest.
Yeah. Dennis, as always, a pleasure. Maybe I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe you're going to have plumbing issues you got to take care of next week, but maybe if you're okay with it, maybe we could do something like for 15 minutes Tuesday and get everybody set up for Thanksgiving. If you would, okay, let's do that. Let's do something like a quick one on Tuesday, kind of get everybody set up. I know everybody's going to be having family over and maybe like to wager on some games and stuff. So I'll have some thoughts on the Thanksgiving games. I'm sure you'll have thoughts on Thanksgiving games and all kinds of stuff. So let's do that. Let's have a good weekend this weekend, and then reconvene early next week and get everybody set up for their Turkey Day.
You got it, my friend.
Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate it. Best of luck with that drip in your wall.
I got to call somebody in to take care of it now. If I just would allowed somebody else to put in the doggone faucet, it would have been easy. But no.
Is Roto Rooter still around?
Yeah, I'm going to need a boat.
Have a great day, Dennis.
Thanks, Doc. See you later.
I'll talk to you. Dennis Ranahan at Coxside Sports, PigsFootball.com. Who did he like? He liked the Niners. Cowboys. We both like the Cowboys. It's kind of lukewarm on the Saints. I kind of like the Saints. But not, I mean, Dallas was the one game that I liked. That was the one game that kind of jumped out at me. I could get with the Niners because that just didn't make a lot of sense to me, but maybe he's right. Maybe, although I think when he was talking about it, I think there was a game between the Packers and the Falcons for the Panthers. Like, I don't think those were consecutive games. Maybe they were. Let me see. I thought there was a game in between though. Like, I don't think they're going to go 4 games in a row. Let's see. Yeah, Saints, which they lost, by the way. So they won at Green Bay. Go home, lose to the Saints, and then go back out on the road and beat the Falcons. By the way, against the Saints, they scored 7 points, 175 yards against the Saints. I mean, they just got mauled. The Saints beat them up in that game. So yeah, that's a game. I Saints. I'd lean Rams, Cowboys. Trying to see if there's anything else that jumped out at me. Burrow being back might be interesting. Like if you could get the Bengals +7 now, and you know Burrow's going to be back. Although no Jamar Chase. What is it with spitting on people? I did what? That's just so vile when you spit on somebody. It's like worse, almost worse than punching him. I think it is worse than punching when you're all suited up. You're all armored up. I wanted to look into the Vikings too. I should have asked him about that game. Vikings, Packers, JJ McCarthy, but there's some Packers aren't. I don't know if the Packers are quite right. I mean, they beat the Giants by 7, lose the Eagles by 3, can't score, lose the Panthers by 3. I mean, they did take down the Steelers, Cardinals by 4. I don't know. It just, yeah, Joe Burrow's questionable. I know he came back and he practiced this week, so I'm kind of thinking he's gonna play. How rusty he's gonna be, I don't know. But man, getting set. What was that? What would that line have been at start the season? Bengals at home. Well, Bengals would have been favored because no one knew the Patriots are going to be this good. But I'd say if Burrow, I don't know. I don't know. 7 just seems like a lot if Burrow does play. Because I know Flacco is banged up. And so, all right, let's take some comments. I got a game tonight, so I'm gonna scram fairly soon. But comments. What do you need for Thanksgiving? What are mandatories for Thanksgiving? So there you go. You can read that. You gotta love the vet days. Bethune's not good. That's not good. Pinheiro, Eddie Money. All right, green bean casserole. I'm gonna go no. I'm going no. I don't like green beans. I'm glad it only makes an appearance once a year, and that's the thing. Yeah, you can go dessert. I mean, pumpkin pie, but you can go pumpkin pie for Christmas too. But I can, if you want to say pumpkin pie is a must-have for Thanksgiving, because I'll include that. I'll include mashed potatoes, gravy. That's a must-have for me too. Must-have mashed potatoes. Sweet potatoes, cool, but I could do without them. Cranberries. Again, I don't know who actually likes cranberries. I'll drink cranberry juice, good diuretic. But as far as just like cranberries, again, when is the last time you went over someone's house for dinner or you served something for dinner that included cranberries? Never. You'll say, why never serve turkey? But you have turkey subs. You have turkey sandwiches. You may not cook the whole bird, but you have turkey. See, I was never a mac and cheese guy for Thanksgiving. Don't get me wrong, I love mac and cheese. I just had homeroom mac and cheese not that long ago. Mac and cheese is good. But as far as mac and cheese for Thanksgiving, that was never part of the program. My mom was pretty traditional, old school. It was the cranberries, garbage, stuffing, love stuffing, turkey. I mean, it's just a must-have. You got to have turkey. You may not love turkey, but you got to have turkey for Thanksgiving. You don't have to have it for Christmas. Hell with that. I don't need it for Christmas. Give me some meat. Give me some full-on red meat for Christmas. But Thanksgiving, you got to have the turkey. You got to have the bird. The 2 potatoes. Green bean casserole is big. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, stuffing for sure. Rolls. I could do without the rolls. I don't need the rolls, but yes, everyone loves the rolls. You know what rolls we usually serve? The Hawaiian rolls. Those little square Hawaiian rolls. Everybody loves those things, man. Those are easy to go to the store, pop those in the oven, and you're good. Yeah, I know. Again, I'm not saying I'm right on this one because I'm definitely in the minority when it comes to rolls. Everybody loves rolls, and I get it. I'm just not a huge rolls guy. I don't need the rolls. Got to have the gravy. And this is where it gets tricky. I don't really know how to do gravy. My mom does a great gravy. like kind of a sausage gravy or a regular gravy. Sausage gravy my mom makes for biscuits and gravy, which is incredible. Love my mom's biscuits and gravy. But I don't know that she puts sausage in the gravy like Thanksgiving gravy. But yes, you gotta have gravy. I will disagree with Dennis on this. Yeah, turkey sliders with the Hawaii rolls. That's good stuff too. But I still don't want gravy infringing on my vegetables. Gravy can go on the turkey. Gravy can go on the mashed potatoes, of course. I can even do the gravy on the sweet potatoes, kind of. Not my favorite. I don't want gravy on. I don't want gravy on my vegetables. Okay, I just don't. I mean, there's not. I try to squeeze corn into everything, even though this is more of a bean holiday, a green vegetable holiday. I'll still try to sneak some corn in there. Glazed ham, yeah, that's not a must-have for me. You can serve it. I think my mom's gonna serve it. But I don't need. I can do ham at Easter. I can do ham at Christmas. I don't have to have ham. And ham, I have ham throughout the course of the year too, and so I don't have to have ham. What kind of beer are you drinking at Thanksgiving? There's a cool one at Alvarado Street that says, I think it's called Give Thanks. It's a pretty cool can too. It's a can of a like a mom back in the 50s, got the apron on, serving they're serving Thanksgiving dinner, and it's just a cool, like, old nostalgic can, back when everything in the world was right, when the women did the cooking and serving and the guys just sat there and did nothing. Not really. I like cooking. And the great thing about cooking and setting the table and getting everything ready is you're not responsible for cleaning. Cleaning is a nightmare for Thanksgiving because that's the way it works. You cook, you prep, you get out of cleaning. You sit on your butt. I shouldn't say it in that way because I sit on my butt too and somebody else is cooking. Then you clean. Split. That's the way it should be. Unless the person that cooks wants to clean, like, as they're cooking. My wife does that. I do that sometimes. It's like, it's kind of a mess. Let me just clean it up in here. And then by the time you're done with the meal, not much to do. But you shouldn't have to be responsible for it. Are you going lumpia? That's interesting. I mean, nothing wrong with lumpia, but I'm not going to say it's a must-have for Thanksgiving. Somebody chimed in too. I don't know whether they were pro dark gravy or pro light gravy. I like light, kind of the light-ish gravy. Turkey gravy, no dark. Thank you. I like the light gravy too. I don't like the dark gravy. And that's not a societal issue I have. Okay, it has nothing to do with that. It's just I like the light gravy. Deep fried or roasted turkey. I've done deep fried. I screwed it up. Incinerated all the meat inside. It wasn't pretty. Thank God I had a prime rib to go with it because that's all we had. Smoked turkey's good. I might do a smoked turkey breast. Just like get like a 5-pound breast and smoke that thing. Roast is good. Like, it's all good. Just as long as if you get lucky and keep it moist. If you get lucky and keep it moist. Because a dry turkey is just brutal. Like, turkey's kind of dry to begin with. You're attempting smoked turkey. Low and slow. Get up early in the morning. Because it could take a while. But you don't want to go over 2 1/4. I would say that's kind of your sweet spot. 2 to 2 1/4. Maybe you can go 250. But the slower the better. And then I'll give you one bit of advice. Whether it's chicken broth or apple juice, Go out there every hour or so and just spritz it. Just spray the bird and just kind of keep it moist. And then the last hour, I would read up on this. I wouldn't take my word for this. Put some butter on it and stuff, and then wrap it in foil, and then cook it. But put a meat thermometer in it. Don't be guessing. Don't like do Gordon Ramsay. Don't just go up to it and go, it's done. No, you're not that good. I'm not that good. So meat thermometer. Gotta have the meat thermometer. Make sure it's in the breast, middle of the breast, not next to the bone. That'll give you a bum reading. But the meat thermometer is like one of the greatest inventions of all time. No guessing. No more guessing. I mean, I really don't want anybody fingering my meat anyway. I mean, in most scenarios. But I don't know what I'm doing anyway. They always do this one right here, where you like touch the webbing right there. You're like, okay, that's medium rare. If your fingers are a little, oh, that's raw right there. Like, let's fucking go. What are you talking about? You just stick the thermometer in there. It's easy. It's easy. You do you, I'll do me. Okay, I've been in the kitchen for like 40 years. I don't know what that is. Just stick the thermometer in there, and I'm good to go. So get in the smoker, stick the thermometer in, spritz that thing every hour or so, and you should be good. We'll see how it turns out. If you are going, thank you. If you're going to deep fry your turkey, for God's sakes, let it thaw out. Go on YouTube and type in deep fried frozen turkeys. You do not want that to be you. I think there's probably enough videos out there that people know about this, but in case you don't take it from the freezer and stick it in the deep fryer. You're gonna have like a bomb on your porch or in your backyard, wherever it may be. You do not want that. So for me, look, I can go pretty light. I can go pretty light on I don't need like 12 different things. Turkey, stuffing. I could be done after that. And gravy. Turkey, stuffing, gravy, I could be done. Like just done. Fill on my plate twice, solid. If I do a turkey breast this year, I might do a Cajun turkey breast, get some Cajun seasoning, do that. Next in line, mashed potatoes are next in line. Vegetables, maybe like a honey glazed or a brown sugar honey glazed carrots. I'll be down with some carrots. I know corn's not traditional Thanksgiving, so carrots are. Give me the carrots. Give me the carrots. Green casserole, take a hike. Cranberries, suck it. I mean, if you want to throw in some sweet potatoes, that's cool. I don't have to have sweet potatoes. Yeah, Brian, you got a brine. Brine's always good. Pecan pie, no. Pumpkin pie, of course. Like I can't say I'm a huge pumpkin pie fan. It's all right. I mean, it's good because you have it once a year. They're like retro uniforms. Retro uniforms look great, and then they start busting those things out like 4 or 5 times a year. You're like, bro, these were like retro for a reason. We left them in the past for a reason. Why are we bringing them back? That's the problem with people. They get so nostalgic, and I do the same thing. Like when I see the old Bills uniforms or the old Seahawk uniforms, I'm like, oh, those are sweet. And then you see them more often, you're like, yeah, there's probably a reason they left those in the 70s. Baseball uniforms, the polyester look, the 80s look, love those things. Would I love them if they wore them 80 times a year? Probably not. Probably not. But then again, they have 4 different uniforms nowadays, 4 or 5 different uniforms that they wear. It's like that. No. Like the Warriors, how do they not have the city jersey, like the 75 edition every year? That should be a staple every single year. Rams uniforms this past week, midnight blue, didn't love them at all. at all. And so, anyway, retro stays retro because we probably got sick of it and didn't want to have to deal with it. And I have no idea. I feel like Leslie Nielsen and Naked Gun. Where am I? I have no idea where I started this mental thread. I know we're on Thanksgiving somewhere. But yeah, cranberries out, three bean casserole out. Au gratin potatoes. Sometimes people bring those. I don't even know how to spell that. So they're out. If I can't spell it, out. You're gone. So top 5 must-haves for me Thanksgiving: turkey, stuffing, gravy, carrots. Oh, no, that was okay. And we'll go pumpkin pie. I'm good. 5 out the door after that. And so, yeah, well, that's the thing. There are things during a Thanksgiving dinner you get once or twice a year. And there's a reason you get them once or twice a year. I don't want Thanksgiving pie in July. There's a reason you can have an apple pie every month of the year, and you're like, oh, this is sweet. I like this apple pie. Peach pie. I mean, that's really when peaches are in season. But if somebody were to give you a peach pie now, you're in. Someone were to give you a peach pie in June, you're in. You're absolutely in. I love peach pie. Love it. Pumpkin pie. Someone were to drop some pumpkin pie on you in like middle of July, probably not. Probably not. So, yeah, I mean that's all like 2 or 3. It's I try to time it up with the second football game halftime, right? The Dallas game halftime, time it up. Put the TV on pause if you want, because you don't want to be eating Thanksgiving with your family and you're like, okay, let's go around the table. What do we give thanks for? I give thanks for. I give thanks for. You don't want to be distracted. Look, you're going to have it during the middle of the football game, the second football game, but just put the TV on pause. You don't want to be watching the game while you're eating. Just leave it. You can leave it for a half an hour. I know it's tough sometimes, but leave it for a half an hour. And so, yeah, thanks, Todd. Well, look, asparagus has no. Asparagus gets. And thank you for the $4.99. Appreciate it, Todd. Asparagus. Does asparagus have a place in Thanksgiving? I don't remember asparagus ever having a place at the dinner table for Thanksgiving. Like not in a traditional sense, anyway. Maybe people serve it. Yeah, I hate asparagus. I know some people hate it because it makes your piss smell, but I just hate it because I hate it because it tastes like ass. Brussels sprouts have come around on a little bit. I don't need them. That probably wouldn't be a bad one to throw in there for Thanksgiving. But I'm trying to think what else I'm missing. Mac and cheese is a big one that I forgot about. So I don't even need this thing anymore, but I'll put it back in. I'll put my earring back in. What am I forgetting? Am I forgetting anything as far as like what traditionally like Thanksgiving dinner? Can't think of anything. My mom will have everything, so I'll let you know. I'll let you know what she serves. And so, all right, we are going to come. We'll be back with you Tuesday. Brent's going to join us Tuesday. I think Dennis said he'd join us Tuesday. We'll get you ready for football next week. A lot of games, a lot of action. I'll have some more thoughts on the college football playoffs, where that stands, some of the bigger games of that weekend, all the rivalry games, a lot of the rivalry games, Georgia, Georgia Tech, Michigan, Ohio State. I think Clemson, South Carolina, not that that means much. I'll be honest, I have no idea who Indiana's like rival is. I think it's Purdue. And it might be the old Oaken Bucket, maybe? Or there's so many damn trophies in the Big Ten. Like so many games have trophies. The wooden spittoon, the old Oaken Bucket, land grant trophy. Land grant, I think, is Penn State, Michigan State, not mistaken. Floyd of Rossdale. I think Minnesota is involved in that. That might be Minnesota, Michigan. The Floyd of Rossdale trophy. But Big Ten just, I don't know if they just sit down one year and go, hey, let's have trophies for every game we do. Like every game, let's do a trophy. You go back, go on Wikipedia and just look at all the nicknames they have for the Big Ten teams. It's insane how many trophies they hand out at the end of Big Ten games. And I don't even know if I got Indiana Purdue right. I'm not even sure if Indiana Purdue is like their rival. I think it is. God damn it. Now I'm just going to have to check. I'm going to have to look on here and check to see if Indiana Purdue plays next week. NCAA football next week. I don't know how. I guess Iowa and Nebraska became a thing because they're both in the Big Ten. And Corn ties them together. Corn binds them together. Ole Miss, Mississippi State. That's the Egg Bowl. Got that. Georgia Tech. I have no idea what they play for, if they play for anything. Yes, Indiana Purdue. There it is. I did get it right. Very nice. Well done, Tom. A&M Texas. That's a big one. That's a good one that's been renewed now that they're both in the SEC. Because that's a good one. That's a fierce one. Arizona State, not so big. Kentucky, Louisville, Ohio State, Michigan. You know what I'm missing? No Bedlam this year. No Oklahoma State, Oklahoma. That kind of sucks. Nah, Michigan's not going to leave the Big Ten. Michigan's just upset that private equity's bought in. Now, here's the thing. The Big Ten wanted to bring private equity into Penn State Rutgers. That's a thing. Oh, Vandy, Tennessee. Yeah, that's a good one too. Real quick, we're gonna run, but Oregon SC. I like it. I like Oregon in that game. I like Oregon minus the 9.5. If it's 10, which it might be, I'll probably just watch it. I'm probably just gonna watch it anyway. If USC can stop Oregon's running game, then I think they're gonna have a chance. Because I got to look and see if Oregon's receivers are healthy. I'm not sure if the Oregon's receivers are healthy, but USC, look, they can throw the ball. Their offense is really good. Lincoln Riley's done a nice job with them this year, but that's a tough place to play. And I'm going to have to look deeper into, USC's run defense. It's better than it was last year. Still wouldn't call it great. But anyway, they are part of the Big Ten, and USC was actually part of what's going on with Michigan that you asked about. So what it is, and I think it's called UC Investments is what I was reading. And they want to invest $2.4 billion into the Big Ten for a 10% stake in the Big Ten. And I want to say Michigan referred to it as a payday loan, that they were doing fine. I think that's great, Michigan. You're doing fine. How's the rest of the league doing? Michigan, like, they don't care. We're doing good. And SC didn't want to have any hand in it either. Now, I'm guessing they could have pushed it through had they wanted to. And this is a wild thing. You're going to start seeing outside investments take bigger pieces of these conferences. You're already seeing it in professional sports leagues where outside investors, hedge funds, stuff like that, are taking pieces of these teams. It's kind of weird. I said this 4 or 5 years ago. It used to be mom and pop shops, like professional sports teams. They are no longer mom and pop shops. Pop shops. I mean, it's it's Apple, it's Google, Alphabet Company, whatever. Like these are big corporations now. So it's not just about one guy owns it or 3 or 4 guys own it. It's a bunch of dudes own it. And then you're going to start taking on outside investors. It's going to be weird to see where sports ends up, but especially in college, where you buy a piece of a conference. So I guess everybody else was down with it because they wanted the cash. So it's going to be 2.4 billion split up between. That's where I'm at right now with the Big Ten. I don't even know how many members they have. 17 would be my guess. Somebody can confirm for me whether that's right or not. I think it's 17 members now. The Big 17. Nice number. They would have 17 members. What the hell? So Michigan and USC weren't down with it. So I guess I don't know if it's called UC Investments or whatever it's called. They've said, hey, well, hold on a second. Let's pump the brakes on this. If Michigan isn't down with this, they have 18? Is that what it is? Okay. I knew it was like 17, 18. I thought it might have been 17, but okay, 18. It makes sense that it is 18. No, it doesn't make any sense at all that it's 18. Let me retract that statement. Jury, disregard that. It makes no fucking sense. It's the Big Ten with 18 members. That's where we're at. Big 12 doesn't have 12. I think Big 12 has less than 12. Pac 12 has way less than 12, although they're going to get new members in now. I will not recognize the Pac 12 the rest of my life. I don't care what they call it. That's an abomination. It's not the Pac 12. It's nothing. It's just the Mountain West Conference with a Pac 12 logo on it. That's all that is. That's all it is. So, anyway, as I ping around to kind of get to your question, it's just yes. This investment firm did want to buy a 10% stake in the Big Ten. 2.4 billion. Michigan didn't want to do it. SC didn't want to do it. The investment firm said, let's pump the brakes on this. And look, if I'm investing in the Big Ten, I kind of want to have Michigan on board. I kind of want Michigan on board on this one. And I kind of want USC on board too. Yeah, those are two pretty powerful schools, pretty big schools that are saying, yeah, we're good. We don't want to do it. So we'll see where it goes. But guess what? It's not the last you're going to hear of it. It wouldn't surprise me if the SEC did it. Well, I don't know who else would do it. I still think ultimately you're going to end up with the AC. You're going to end up with the Big Ten and the SEC, and that's it. That's going to be the top tier of football, and then you're going to have the bottom tier, and then you can do your relegation. I think that's the brilliant move. Big Ten is the AFC or NFC. SEC is the other one. They have their own playoffs, and then you have your version of the college Super Bowl featuring the team that came out of the SEC and the team that came out of the Big Ten. That's it. And then you can still have bowl games. You can have bowl games from the teams that didn't qualify for the playoffs. You can have bowl games from the teams that are not in the Big Ten or SEC. And then you could have relegation. If you do poorly enough in the Big Ten or SEC, you get relegated to the ACC, to the Big 12, to the whatever it is. And somebody gets a chance to move up. I think that I like. That I can dig that. Absolutely. Not going to happen before I die, but that would be to me, that's the way to go. It's already NFL junior. So you might as well make it full on. Playoffs, college Super Bowl, you're good to go. So, all right, everybody, we'll be back Tuesday. Right before that might be the only show we do next week. Possible we do something during the middle of the week. I got 3 Warrior games next week, but look, you guys want to hang out, be with the family, traveling, doing what you're doing. So Tuesday we'll definitely do a show, and then maybe Friday, maybe. That's a big maybe, because I'm going to be here by myself. So I might just want to get out here and do a show. Who knows? Have some beers, light the fire, get out here and do a show. It's a possibility. So, all right, everybody, have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. If you're traveling, be safe. Traveling is probably going to be a biatch this weekend as you get ready to either welcome family in for the holidays or go and be with family for the holidays. And so Thanksgiving, one of my favorite holidays, just because it's about family. It's not about gifts, not about shopping, not about the headache of finding what do they like, what do I want to get for them, what I want. It's just being together. Just being together, playing cards, watching a movie, having dinner, laughing, and enjoying. So Thanksgiving's great. So hopefully everybody enjoys it. Everybody gets a chance to spend time with the family. And if you are traveling, make sure patience, deep breath. Namaste. However they say it. If you're in the airport, they didn't set the schedule. They're not delaying you on purpose. Don't get mad at them. Up to a point. If they're being rude, let them have it. All right. Talk to you guys Tuesday. See you.